officially stopped apologizing for long hiatuses. So today I'm reading a fanfic that actually got recommended to me by the author themselves. So this is gonna be good. So the fanfic is called Denmark+Bar equals ? Denmark X Reader. And it is by QueenOfLegos on Wattpad or Ncallygator on YouTube. So here is the blurb. You've known Denmark for quite a while. You've been one of his best friends for a long time. You have to admit, you did have feelings for him, but you never expected your perfect date to go down like this. Okay, so this is my first one-shot, an even book, so the writing may not be the best. Also, it's a bit random. I hope you enjoy. Franz, where are you taking me, and why am I blindfolded? You asked, as you stumbled blindly about what you were sure was a street. You heard a familiar voice to your left. You did the best to follow the heavily accented words, while still keeping an ear out for any noise that could tell you exactly where you were. It's a surprise, mon ami, Franz snickered, as if this surprise wasn't so great, for you at least. You were getting a bit frustrated with all this scenery. The urge to use sarcasm was almost unbearable. Here, can we at least stop for a moment so I can call 911 now? You begged. You even attempted to use your most devastating power. But unfortunately, puppy eyes don't work behind blindfolds. You heard Franz quicken his pace as his shoes clicked and clacked on the asphalt sidewalk. Franz's voice resounded once again from your left. No, we can't stop. We wouldn't want to be late. On. His unsettling laugh brought chills down your spine, which of course didn't make you feel any better about your little adventure, and much less about what awaited you at your destination. You and Franz walked for what felt like eternity, but was really only 16 minutes. Finally, Franz came to a halt. We're here, he announced at last. And don't try to make a run for it, you already attempted 5 times. With this last statement, he slipped off your blindfold to reveal a magnificent restaurant towering above you. It dwarfed and outclassed every restaurant you had ever seen. Even the gigantic McDonald's America had shown you. This restaurant was no fast food joint. It was the real deal. You couldn't form the words to express your awe. All that came out was, wow. I know, I try, Franz said, fluffing his hair. You decided to disregard Franz. Not you, that building. You pointed out to the one looming over the two of you, right in plain sight. Franz looked at you quizzically, then broke out into laughter. After a few awkward moments, he finished laughing, and then escorted you over to a small, shady shack. The shack had the title Helvete etched into the front, in what was once dark red text. Psh, that old thing? We're going to a real 5-star restaurant. He gestured over to the shack. It was a bit dingy and dirty, not to mention unsettling. You were creeped out the place and wanted to get far away from it. Franz, what are we doing here? If I'm gonna get murdered, can we get it over with? You huffed at the blonde, admiring his hair. After a few moments of vanity, Franz turned to you and replied, as much as I would like to take you up on your offer and silence your complaining, I'm doing you a favor. He gave you a wink and pushed you closer to the wooden door. Besides this 5-star restaurant, he added. You inspected the 5 stars on the roof thoroughly. Those aren't 5 stars. They're star-shaped stickers someone plastered on the roof, you protested. Franz was growing tired and eventually shoved you through the door. You lost your balance and tumbled through the threshold, heading straight for the floor. You instinctively closed your eyes and braced for impact, but no collision came. Cool, you made it! F/N. A really familiar voice sounded above you. You snapped your E/C eyes open to find you were being held by a certain spiky-haired Dane. Hey, Matthias? You greeted your friend and sat there staring like an idiot. You could feel the blush glow on your cheek. Thanks for catching me, Matthias, but I can't stand, you know. You pointed out to the still grinning Dane. Oh yeah, he beamed and let you regain your balance. You could hear Franz laughing in the background at you two. You whirled around to ask the question rolling around in your mind. Franz, what's going on? Franz responded with a quick adieu and then sped out the door, still snickering to himself. You felt your anger boil up a bit, causing you to mumble a few creative curse words. Matthias grinned at your crimson-tinted pallor and the way that you looked when you were mad. Actually, he thought you looked kind of cute that way. Franz didn't do anything, did he? Matthias asked with one eyebrow raised slightly. Your face went back to its normal hue and you felt way better knowing that Matthias was there. No, but I have one itty-bitty question. What the heck heck is going on? Denmark blushed and rubbed the back of his neck nervously. His grin took on a more nervous appearance. He waited a moment, thinking of how to deliver his next sentence. Well, this is kind of a date, he slowly managed. Your heart sped up and your brain seemed to shut down at the realization that you were on a date with your crush. Your legs became wobbly and unstable. Once again, you started to faint with inner fangirling. And once again, Denmark caught you. You can't pass out now. We haven't even hit the bar. Denmark chuckled and set you back on your feet. My hero, you said, rolling your eyes and showing off a smile of your own. Matthias' smile widened at the mention of his heroism. Don't let America hear that, he joked. You two made it over to your table. You had to admit the interior didn't look as bad as you expected. In fact, it was really cozy. There was a fireplace where the customers could chat as they finished their drinks. The wooden walls, while being slightly stained, hid their age well with their polished finish. All the tables and chairs were so clean they gleamed in the soothing light of the black and light brown stained glass lamps, swaying hypnotically above you. You felt so much joy as you glanced over your date from across you. You wanted the whole world to stop spinning right then and there, just so you can savor the moment for a little longer. You had no idea how this date could ever get any better than this moment right here. That is, until you were handed the menu from one of the polite waiters. The waiters gave you a moment to decide what you would like to drink. Denmark's eyes lit up with glee as he surveyed the plethora of drinks laid out before him, particularly the beer. You, on the other hand, had no idea what you want. You read the menu out loud to refine your choices. Beer, 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 wine, beer, beer, punch. I'll take some punch, you established. Careful. It's spiked, Denmark told you, still staring down at the menu as if it had insulted his mother. Is everything here alcoholic? You asked the slightly concentrating Matthias. He gave you a quick glance from the top of the menu and gave you his answer. This restaurant is Danish. You could tell he was smirking from behind that menu. You both laughed at the obvious answer. So have you made up your mind about what you want to drink? You questioned. Denmark set down the menu on the lamented tabletop. A couple more moments and you were sure he would have started interrogating the menu. Yeah, I'll have a few drinks. Nothing much, he happily announced to the patient waiter. 45 drinks later. You didn't usually drink much, but with a little coaxing from Matthias and the fact that this was a special night, you were completely intoxicated. In Denmark's words, totally awesome bro. Both of you were laughing and cracking jokes like you usually did. This was going to be the interesting part of your date. How about we have a little fun, Denmark said with a mischievous smile. Matthias got up from his seat and to your surprise jumped on the table. Extending a hand, he offered it to you. Shall I have a dish dance? He drunkenly slurred, with the alcohol clouding your judgment and preventing you from saying otherwise. You agreed. You heard the song The Danish Way to Rock coincidentally play in the background. Matthias lifted you onto the tabletop and started to waltz, just as Norway taught him. Norway only did it on one condition: running through freezing cold Oslo, naked. It was worth it to impress you. Grasping your warm hand in his, he pulled you close to his chest. So close that you can hear his heart thumping rhythmically. It was like a song of its own. You danced to the beat of the music and swayed to the beat of his heart. Where did you learn to dance? F/N. You're great, Matthias asked. You were thinking of what to say to the cheerful Danish man. You never really learned to dance. You just went with what your feet told you to do. Your concentration was broken by a loud crunch coming from under your shoe. Oh crap, you whispered. The remains of an old dish was scattered all over the table. Denmark was oblivious, as usual, to the shards of plate under his feet. With his next step, he slipped on one of them, sending him crashing down to one of the wooden chairs. You carefully lowered yourself from the table to check on your date. You crouched next to him, only to trip one of the waiters. Food went everywhere. The owner of the restaurant was appalled by the destruction you were causing. He rushed to the phone and was urgently speaking to someone on the other side. You knew you were in trouble with two men in police uniforms, walked in and scanned the restaurant. Their eyes landed on you in Denmark. By the time Matthias was on his feet, he was looking at the shocked faces of all the people in the restaurant. F/N. I think it's time to go, he mumbled. Yeah, you replied. Matthias threw $40 on the damaged tabletop and picked you up. Hey, get back here, one of the police officers commanded. Denmark ran out the door, still carrying a very drunk you. Keep the change, he yelled after him. Your only comment was, wee! Denmark dashed to the only safe place he could think of. You and Matthias arrived at the Nordic house. You banged on the door hurriedly and rang the doorbell numerous times. Right as Denmark almost gave up, a monotonous voice came from the wooden door. Who is it? I told you I don't want any cookies. The door swung open to reveal an annoyed Norway standing there in his fairy pajamas. You hadn't even even realized it. It was nighttime during your great escape. As soon as Norway saw Denmark, he slammed to the door. Please, not yet. This is serious, Denmark pleaded. Norway, we need your help, you added. The door opened once again. Fine, but this time you're running naked through Copenhagen. Norway sighed. What? You whispered to Denmark. He turned a bit red at the question. Nothing, he shouted. You two wasted no more time and slipped into the house and snuggled next to each other on the couch. A few moments later, you heard sirens pierce through the calm atmosphere. What did you do this time, Dane? Norway droned. He still showed no emotion, even with the police standing outside his home. You were still incredibly drunk. Staying quiet wasn't too easy for you. Psst, can I take him? I'm the Queen of Northern Europe, you shouted. Shh. Denmark hushed you, placing a finger over his lips. Haha, for once you're the quiet one. Denmark rolled his eyes at you. I know what will keep you quiet, he smirked. You didn't have time to ask what he meant before his lips were pressed into yours. You didn't even try to pull away in surprise. He was right there, completely silent. And then a blinding flash lit up the room for a second. Norway, Denmark huffed at the Norwegian holding a camera. And send, Norway announced to us. The picture was on the internet and there was nothing you could do. Great, now the fangirls are going crazy, Denmark whined. Despite the picture, you couldn't be happier once you got over the shock. Who cares? Jeg elsker dig, Denmark, you said. It was Matthias' turn to be shocked. You tackled him in a hug, planting kisses all over him, forgetting about the cops. Everything else faded into the background. All that mattered was you and him. You didn't even notice a triumphant France watching you guys through the window. My work here is done, he told himself. He walked to the front lawn only to be confronted by the policeman. Hey, wait a minute! Aren't you the one wanted for kidnapping people and sending them off to blind dates? One of the officers asked. France could feel a drop of sweat trickle down his face. Of course not, you must have made a mistake, he stuttered. The police were skeptical of this claim. Who else would smell of moldy cheese and heavy perfume? The officers said in unison. France's pride kicked automatically with his next statement. This is my new cologne. I made it myself. Oh crap. Realizing he had just given himself away, France bolted. Fun fact, cologne is from Cologne, France. The more you know. Leave those two you were chasing. Get him, the policeman shouted after France. Laying there next to Denmark, you reflected on what the heck just happened. For as long as you crushed on Matthias, you never would have thought your date would go like this. You glanced at the smiling Dane holding you close and began to think out loud. Wow, today was insane. I got kidnapped, learned how to waltz, destroyed a restaurant, got chased by the police. Denmark's eyebrows furrowed with a little worry. He didn't plan any of these things to happen. They just did. He hoped you didn't hate him for it. He had no idea what he would do if you did. And I got the best boyfriend ever, you finished. A bright smile grew on Denmark's face. He gave you a soft yet sweet kiss. You two laid there for the rest of the night, enjoying each other's company. Minutes later, you listened to the snoring of your sleeping boyfriend. Your last thought before closing your eyes was, best date ever.